Hey everybody, I'm Corbin Hostler. Welcome back to Mining Modern. This week I am playing Martyr Monument. This is a pretty fun one. I found it in a 5-0 list. So this week I played against Bridgevine, I played against Burn, I played against Elves, I played against Jeskai, Pyromancer, Ascension, Ascendancy. Pretty neat one there. Well, you can find all the timestamps for those matches in the description below, as well as a link to the deck tech if you want to go check that out. But if you're familiar with the deck a little bit here, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into the matches. Again, this is Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's have some fun with Oketra's Monument. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler, and this week we have a brew. I'm going to make sure I get this right, credit the right person here. This one is courtesy of Lear the Cat on Magic Online, who 5-0'd a League or Modern Challenger, something with this deck. This deck is great. So we are in a Oketra's Monument deck, as you can see here, but we have so much more going on, and you actually see a fairly tame hand here. Pretty good hand, I think. We have the Thraben Inspector's Pass, and we have the Whitemane line in the Monument against Bridgevine here, huh? So things to note with this hand, Oketra's Monument makes your white creature spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast one, you get a cat. Well, you know what? That loops a long time with Whitemane Lion. Every mana gets you a cat and a cat. Another cat, the Whitemane Lion itself. So that is a lot just going forward with this hand. And that's just one synergy in this deck. This deck actually has a crazy amount of things going on. We are playing, and I've never done this before. I've never actually got to do this. So I hope in this this league I get to pull it off here. We are playing Bruna, the Fading Light, and we are playing Gisela, the Broken Blade. That is a meld combo to make Brizella something that makes your opponent has a billion stats. It's a ball of stats and abilities, and your opponents can't cast spells converted mana cost 3 or less. All kinds of crazy stuff going on in this deck, like I said. It's going to be fun. It is going to be a lot of fun. By the way, we also have Martyr of Sands, Cataclysmic Gear Hulks. We've got Squadron Hulks, Ranger of Eos. Like, this thing is just nuts. I'm very excited to play it. All that said, we're playing against a Bridgevine opponent here who seems to not have too much going on. I guess I'm just going to play all these Thraben Inspectors. The important thing with Oketra's Monument, by the way, of course, is that it only reduces the colorless cost of your creature spells, not the colored cost. I guess I'll just block. My opponent probably should just suicide his Stitcher here, to Stitcher Supplier, to get more creatures in the graveyard, but I will count my blessings that this Bridgevine deck is not just destroying us here. I'm happy to throw away one of these. But yeah, hopefully next time we hit a land and we can just deploy an Oketra's Monument here. If our opponent does anything threatening, we might end up having to path a Vengevine at some point. But I think we can deal with Bloodghast basically forever. Well, we can path that at some point too. They don't have a Gargadon. We unfortunately did not hit land. So I can just crack a Clue if I want. I can also just, do nothing. I could play Whitemane Lion, pick up a Thraben Inspector. I could just path my own creature. That feels kind of greedy. I'm just going to crack a Clue and see if we get lucky here. Would certainly be nice if we hit a land off of this and can hold up Path to Exile. Our deck, oh, look at that. Very good at this game. Well, not exactly where we wanted it. Obviously would have preferred it to be on top of our library when we drew that turn, so we could have just played a Monument and then been ready to go off on the next turn. But as long as our opponent's not killing us, this doesn't seem so bad. I'm actually more scared of this Hangerback Walker than I am Vengevines and that sort of thing. We can block Vengevines forever once we get our Monument going. Hangerback Thopter's a little more difficult. Not unbeatable, but a little more difficult. So we'll hopefully get an opportunity to path that. Well, I guess I could just path it in the end step here. As a matter of fact, with our opponent having both these Bloodghasts in play, this seems like it's probably the best plan anyway, so they can't get any additional value off of it. Alright, so now we don't have to worry about that. Now we have, we actually have 4 lands here. Oh, having 4 lands here is great. Alright, just going to play out a Monument, pass the turn, and now we've got our engine rolling here. You're going to get to see how this works. This is going to be great. Alright, I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm just going to pass the turn forever. We're going to overwhelm our opponent in the long game here. Their deck is very grindy, and that's a concern, but it's actually interesting. I think we have the better long game because of this Oketra's Monument here. So watch this. Alright, so we're going to just flash in this Whitemane Lion, trigger our Oketra's Monument, get a kitty, and then we'll get a cat. Alright, so when Whitemane line enters play, you have to return a creature. Well, okay. That's fine, I guess. I'll just return this Whitemane line so I can replay it later. And then we'll throw a couple blocks up here. Alright, do this, this, and I guess I'll just take 2. I want to keep this thing around. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'll keep it around. We'll just take 2 from this 1 blood gas here. Now our opponent gets the mill. Hopefully there's no bridge from belows. There was not. An angler. So this is interesting. I don't know that they're... I would assume they have Vengevines, but showing me Gurmag Angler is interesting. There's a Grave Crawler. Alright, so our opponent's got a lot working for him here, but you know what? So do we at this point. Whew! Look at that. Okay, so here you go. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. When it enters the battlefield, each player chooses an artifact, creature, enchantment, and planeswalker, and keep them. Sacrifice the rest. So you get to keep one thing of each type. So we can choose the Gearhulk as our artifact if we wanted. This is in theory right on an empty board. And then still get to keep another creature, I believe. Yeah. So in this case, so we obviously have clues and monuments. So we don't really want to play it. But we don't really need to do anything either. To be honest, we're just in a pretty good position. Just going to attack with an Inspector. I might as well get in there with both of them, right? I don't really want... I do want to limit... I say that. We have so much mana working. I'll just get in there. I say I want to limit the amount of damage I'm taking, but we get to make 3 cats with the Whitemane Lion. Alternatively, I can crack a clue here to try to hit another land drop. Or, yeah, we drew the Gearhulk this turn. I kind of like that. Because just playing this twice should be enough to keep us alive. Sweet. There's the land. Now, our deck is a little light, and I did adjust the mana base slightly to play like the Westvale Abbey and stuff. So the Emerias in our build of the deck are a little worse than the typical build of the deck. But you know what? I think we still have just enough to trigger it here. We need 7 or more planes. We have... let's see here. Check this out real quick for everybody. Huh? If Magic Online doesn't want to go any faster. Alright, so here we go. Pull up. Oops, wrong one. Alright, so as you see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Sheltered Groves and the Temple Garden give us 8, 9. So we do have plenty of planes. I mean, not quite like 8 planes like the you know, the original build of this deck, but still pretty good. All right, so now we need to go off with our cats here. Actually thinking about picking up one of the Thraben Inspectors for value. We'll see. Alright, so this, and we know that this deck doesn't play much removal. I'm just going to return a Thraben Inspector, move to blocks here. I think I'm happy to do this and take 2. Losing our line here, just not that big of a deal. Westvale Abbey, by the way, making Normandal well worth giving up a plane slot in this deck. Hey, that's a pretty good one. Look at that. That's a lot of words right there. It's a lot of cards. But Flying First Strike, Lifelink, blah, 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 blah. It's pretty good. It does not have Flash. It does only cost us 3, though, so we may as well just play it. Hey, look how good this is right now. This is going to be so difficult for our opponent to grind through. Oketra's Monument is an incredibly underrated card in Modern, I think. Obviously, you have to have the right deck to play it, and our deck is, you know, I guess probably one of the better ones here to actually play it. But this is all around pretty sick. All right, go ahead and play out another Inspector here, get another clue, get another token. By the way, these tokens, these warrior tokens, have vigilance. Comes up pretty often in these matches, especially against a deck like this Bridgevine deck, where it's probably going to be correct before the game's over for us to just suicide them all out there, just to poke in damage or whatever. But then they can jump block when we need to. I mean, our opponent basically needs a giant fast draw to kill us, whether that involves Bridge from Belows or Vengevines or what. But I mean, this game's just locked up. We even have a Thalia's Lancers in our deck to go search up Bruna. Because there's only one Bruna. It's 2 Gisellas. Because it's actually just a generically good card. Flying First Strike, Lifelink, 4/3. I mean, that's pretty real, right? It's a mini Baneslayer Angel, which in a lot of matchups is just good enough. But also, you can search out this or the other half, the Bruna, the Fading Light, which is itself just a dirtly 7-mana angel, but angel horror, as it turns out. Does not get bounced by Thing in the Ice, worth keeping in mind. Oh, a Walking Ballista, huh? Well, that's pretty good against us. I'm going to go ahead and play my cat out now so that my opponent can't shoot my cat with a Walking Ballista. Because the way this works is they're just going to give it to us. Yeah, that makes sense. The game was pretty over. Although they could have actually shot this cat with the ballista next turn. But it would have been incredibly difficult for them to get through that. Yeah. As you can see, that right there is why you play this deck. Alright, so, gosh, Shuttle the Wreckage seems so good here, and so do these Surgical Extractions. Alright, Cataclysmic Gearhulk, not great. Archangel Avacyn, not great. Definitely want to cut from the top end here, I think. We'll probably cut a Ranger of Eos, I think. We even have this sweet Martyr proc Rebirth plan here. Just the one of. The throwback to when Martyr of Sands was Martyr proc decks instead of Martyr Monument decks. This deck is awesome. I'm enjoying this. Okay, so Thalia's Lancers I kind of like. This is so good. I don't know why this is in the deck, but it was in the deck. The 5-0 list. Pyromancer, God of the Harvest. I play this in Commander. It's the only time I've ever seen this card. Indestructible 6/7. Blah 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 blah. It's a creature. If you have a bunch of devotion, you get to get a force or planesword on the battlefield. Tap it. Will power up that Emeria. I imagine that's the reason it's in the deck. Also, turns out it's pretty hard to kill. All right, so we need to cut one more card here. It's probably just the Ranger of Eos, but maybe not. Is Shalai good? Giving us hexproof, giving all of our things hexproof. Yeah, they could have Dark Blast or something like that. Dark Blast is something I've seen sideboarded sometimes in those decks. I don't think they'll be making us sacrifice things. I could cut Avacyn, but it's too much fun to cut. I'm just going to cut a Ranger of Eos here. I don't really know if that's correct or not, but I feel like our deck is pretty well set up against Bridgevine. Not only do we have the ability to win a fair game against them, as you just saw, we also just have these engines over the course of the game, and now we have actual sideboard hate as well. So this hand is pretty vulnerable to a fast start from them, but we are up a game. I'm going to give it a shot here. It's got a lot of the tools, and, you know, I'm a fan of... Well, okay. Is it a turn 1 Vengevine? Yeah, I think it is. Well, fair enough. We'll path it here in a turn or two. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. I really wanted to hit a land that did not come into play tapped there. The reason this is in the deck is because it's a pretty sweet card. One, you can fetch for it, which is kind of nice. But you can put a card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. You can protect yourself from Surgical Extraction, for instance, if somebody brought that in against us. It also means you can loop Squadron Hawks forever. It means you don't mill yourself to death. We're getting a little trolled by the one basic force in the deck here for Path to Exile purposes, but yeah, we'll see how bad it is. Hopefully we just hit a Plains next turn and we can play Thraben Inspector. We did not. Squad Hawk's not bad, but I think we just have to path this thing immediately. Well, I say immediately, on their turn anyways. We're pretty far behind here. They had a pretty broken draw, and we had one where we stumbled. But like I said, I think that our hand was good enough that against all but a really broken start from them, I mean, turn 1 Vengevine, it's weird Modern's in a place where that doesn't count as incredibly broken, but it is very good. But I think you can be a little less aggressive with your mulligans. I didn't have to have sideboard hate, for instance, in my view here, because we can just win a fair game against them with this hand. Now, obviously, the turn 1 Vengevine and us not having an untapped white source dampened that a little bit, but I'd say we're not dead to win this game either. We're going to go down to 10 here. We obviously need to hit some lands, but Squad Hawks, they keep things going for a little while. Rich from Below is the scarier card, to be honest. Okay, let's see what they do here. They have 3 cards in hand. They have 2 cards in hand, and they're just going to pass. Okay. Hey, we hit a land. All right. That was I mean, it comes into play tap, so that's obviously a little awkward, but it just means we got to play Squad Hawk and, you know, hopefully buy ourselves a turn here. Hidden mode of Squadron Hawk, by the way, is slightly improving your draw step when you, well, basically all the times you don't ever want to draw anything but the first Squadron Hawk. But in this case, it makes us a little more likely to draw lands next turn. Drawing an untapped land, playing Oketra's Monument plus Thraben Inspector, I think is our path to win this game. We'll see. We obviously have to hit running lands, but... Alright, we'll block this. Our opponent's going to get a bridge from below trigger, I believe, if they stack their triggers correctly. Which they did. So we're going to fall to 9. Our opponent has a zombie, but if they don't do anything too crazy... Wow, and they actually just did nothing, and we hit a land. Okay, so now I feel like we're in an okay position to try to get back in this game here. We've stemmed the bleeding. We get to play Thraben Inspector. We get to get a cat. And as long as our life total is, you know, in a semi-safe position, we're going to be okay here. And this is the big turn. Our opponent has Bloodghast in the graveyard. It's going to have haste if they have a land, which they do. It depends what comes along with this. I kind of expecting them to get Overgrown Tomb and cast a Vengevine here. It's kind of the only thing they can have in hand. Yep. Alright, well this turn's going to hurt, but... Alright, we'll put this in front of the Vengevine, this in front of the Bloodghast. This means we take 3, and maybe we'll run out of them out of lands on that Bloodghast eventually. But, alright, another land for us is also good. Remember, by the way, if you decide to build this deck, Oketra's Monument is legendary. I've made that mistake before. But I'd say this is so good for us right now. We have Squad Hawks, we have Whitemane Lion. We've got a lot working for us right now. Kind of awkward. We can actually only play a few of them. I guess these can crack a clue. Ooh, definitely don't want to concede. I can crack a clue with these. I played a land already, so it doesn't matter much. I'm going to play the Squadron Hawk first. Then go in for the Whitemane Lion on my main phase, I think. Nothing to search for here. Yet, we could put it back on the bottom. All right. So I wanted to do that so I didn't, if they were to shoot my line in responsibility with whatever possible card they have here, we don't get quite as wrecked. But if they don't have it, we just get to do our thing a little bit. Yep. All right. And so this gives us 4 blockers for the turn, which should be pretty good. I mean, I think our opponent's lining up 4 attackers if they have a land drop for this Bloodghast. I'd say we're not quite out of the woods. They had a good turn last turn to poke in some damage. So we're not out of the woods. I mean, if we can get one more turn, I think we'll be okay here. But no life gain in our deck at the moment, or in our hand at the moment. If we get enough tokens, though, we can just make an Ormondal. That's the thing. Yeah, Faithless Looting is what I was scared of. This is the kind of card that could lead conceivably to us actually dying this turn. They also have enough mana that they have plenty of mana, they can flash it back. But if they're able to, say, get a Vengevine plus this Bloodghast or something like that, or multiple Bloodghasts, we're looking at taking damage again this turn. Now, we might be able to remove some of their creatures from the board with all of our stuff, but... And if they tried to do nothing, we're just going to make Ormondal. I don't think they can beat this. We'd have to hit a land, but then we just sacrifice 5 creatures. I mean, I guess we don't have it yet, but we're not terribly far away here. But this thing, by the way, flying lifelink, indestructible haste. Lifelink, pretty important there. Yeah, the original list did not have Westphal Abbey in it, but I've played, I've saved these monument decks. I've played a monument deck before that had some of these same synergies, and Westphal Abbey is just too good to pass up, in my opinion. Ormondal just wins games out of nowhere. Plus, I mean, heck, paying 5 mana and making a chump blocker is not the worst thing that's ever happened. Alright, our opponent is deep in the tank on this this Faithless Looting, I guess. Now, I know I talked and I ranted a little bit about this Vengevine deck last week. These games were much more reasonable. This time, this deck is actually played out like a real deck. It's fun. Again, it's funny I say that considering turn 1 Vengevine is pretty good, but you know, all in all, it doesn't have crazy follow-ups after that. And in this case, all our opponent had was, you know, a Bloodghast and a Citrus Supplier and a couple zombies. So I think the thing I'm most scared of them doing is going very, very wide with zombie tokens. I don't really have any way, other than Westvale Abbey, I guess, to sacrifice creatures to get rid of their Bridge from Belows. But we'll see what they want to do. Alright, our opponent has made up their mind. They've discarded a Nature's Claim and a Greater Gargadon, and they've suspended a Greater Gargadon. Okay. Oh, wow, they're going to pass to us, though. Alright, this feels pretty good. It's interesting. They didn't want the Nature's Claim to hit the Monument. Whoo, Martyr of Sands. Yes, please. Just going to fire this thing off for life immediately, prevent those Bloodghast from having haste, and before I play out the rest of the cards in my hand. Alright, so, well, maybe. I guess I could just keep it open. Maybe that's better. Yeah, I'll just play this Thraben Inspector, get another token, or another clue, rather, and another token. And I'll play a Squad Hawk. So now we have enough blockers forever. I can sacrifice Martyr of Sands and gain, I mean, not much life, and I would not like to use the ability. I would like to attack with this Squadron Hawk, though. I could have kept a few more cards in my hand for this by going with the Whitemane Lion instead. My opponent has one card in hand, but I don't know, maybe it's odd that they did the plays they made are a little odd. It made me think that maybe they're keeping a Dark Blast or something in hand. So I didn't. Well, Dark Blast wouldn't even kill this. So I don't know. Maybe I should have just gone for the Whitemane Lion there. It would have meant we had one more Squadron Hawk in hand, so we would have gained 3 more life off of this Martyr of Sands. But all right, so now they're going to try to loot into something big here. The problem for my opponent. There's a lot of problems for them. I think we've basically got this one locked up at this point. Martyr of Sands, is a way to exile Bridge from Below at instant speed. So they can go in on their Gargadon. It doesn't have haste. Don't care much about that. So they can have as big of a turn as they want, basically. And if I feel the need to gain life, I will gain life with Martyr of Sands. And if not, I'll just crack this clue token, and we'll look at Ormandali next turn to end the game. Because we have 11 at the moment with Ormandal. This would be 9, 10, 11 in the air. I think there might just be a scooping coming from our opponent here. I can't really imagine what they... I think Bridge from Below is their only way to really get... Okay, JK. I had no idea that was a card. Wow. Alright. Interesting. Well, we're back up to 12, so the Bloodghast won't have haste. Blasphemous act, huh? Legit didn't know that was a thing. Interesting sideboard card. Very, very good here, as it turns out. I see what they were trying to do. They had to pull the trigger on it then, though. I mean, this Gargadon's still a long way off. They only have one card in hand. They're not going to trigger Vengevines. They know that we have a Squad Hawk and a Whitemane Lion. And, heck, I can even use Mistveiled Plains. Put another Squad Hawk on the bottom of my library. Play this Squad Hawk, go get it. Like I said, the synergies, they never stop. Pretty nice. Now, they're in the tank here. If their card is a land, they can play to get their Bloodghast back. It won't have haste. If it's anything else, I guess they're debating whether or not they probably fire off, a Ballista or a Hangerback Walker or something here instead, making it less likely to get a Vengevine, but maybe trying to win before then. I'm not even sure if that's wrong. I mean, they might be correct. They are just going to pass the turn back, though. All right, Field of Ruin, huh? That doesn't do too much for me. I think I'm going to start by cracking the clue. See if we can hit a land, a white land. We did. Okay. White land's obviously far better than anything else here. Just going to get a basic plains. Well, I may as well use the Mistveiled Plains. Oops. Oh, activate only if you control 2 or more white permanents. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess I'll play the Whitemane Lion then. All right, this should do it. All right, so we can pick up our Whitemane Lion here. We'll see if this is enough for our opponent to scoop. Oh, but now I don't have enough. All right, so what I think I can do here is play the Squadron Hawk. Yeah, I can put the trigger on the stack, then activate it. So yeah, all right, Mistveiled Plains. Put the other Squadron Hawk on the bottom here. Interesting. The tokens actually do the work for us, but... And now we have a very, very slow loop of Squadron Hawks. Alright, I already played on land. Let's pass the turn back. Well, this gives our opponent a little bit of a shot here, but staying at 11 life, pretty relevant. Obviously, it means that the Blood Gas coming back won't have haste or any future ones. Our opponent has, I believe, looks like one Vengevine in their graveyard over here, so that's not so bad, and they have 2 cards in hand. I like this sideboard card. That is sweet. I'm a big fan of Blasphemous Act. Count me in. I've never seen this card cast in Modern in my life, but you know what? It was very good right there. All right, there's a Neonate for them. Let's see if they just pull the trigger on it and try to get the Vengevine back. It's getting progressively more difficult for them. I mean, that Blasphemous Act gave them, I guess, a tiny window, but when they weren't able to immediately follow up with Vengevines or something to pressure our life total, now they're back to needing, you know, another board wipe or something. We still have the Whitemane Lion to loop. Now we have this really, really slow Squadron Hawk loop where we get to put one at a time into the bottom of our library and then draw it out with the other one. Mistfilled Plains, pretty sweet. Also keeps you from decking. Which I guess could be relevant. I mean, maybe there's some weird scenario where you get exiled twice by Nulamog and you have no cards in your library, and then you put one in and you're upkeep with Mistfilled Plains so you don't die. Alright, they've discarded a Gargadon to the Neonate to try to hit another creature to get back the Vengevine. And they did it. Alright, good for them. Not enough, but yay, they got their Vengevine back. That's what you play the deck for, right? I'm just going to throw my Squadron Hawk away, because it will be back. I mean, I get to make so many tokens. This game's just over in a turn or two. Unless they pull something very good out. Remember I talked about these tokens having Vigilance? Yeah, pretty good right now. Alright, I'll play this Field of Ruin, I guess? I don't really want to fetch down to 10, so... Alright, the slowest possible win condition. Attack you with a couple Vigilant tokens at a time. Alright, put my opponent down to 10. I'm just not convinced there's anything... My opponent has no cards in hand. There's not even a reason to do the Squadron Hawk stuff. Just going to play Whitemane Lion a bunch. Should be plenty enough to win the game. I guess we're going to make the next Blasphemous Act they draw very cheap. They do have a Faithless Looting in their graveyard still, so they get to do some more shenanigans next turn. I might have done that instead of going for that Neonate play. Would have given them a little more information, but I guess I might have lowered the number of things I could play after. Alright, so I can opt to put Squadron Hawks on the bottom of my library if I want. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do this. It has Flash, so I didn't have to do it in my main phase, obviously. But I did want to do it in my main phase so that they couldn't have some sort of removal to deal with it. Alright, where are they at on this Gargadon? Gargadon's at 4 counters. I guess their plan, you know, sort of ostensibly should be to hope to draw a Blasphemous Act and then be able to play it the turn Gargadon comes off. I don't really know what they're looking for. Alright. I'm just going to put 3 in front of this thing. Why not? Oh. Neonate has Menace. I always forget about that. Everyone always forgets about it. I've won games with it where I remember it and they don't. This seems pretty rough for our opponent, though. We just use creatures. We just use tokens to take their creatures off the board, and I mean, sure, Vengevine can come back, but that's actually not a trivial matter for our opponent at this point of the game to be able to do. They need, with 1 card in hand, they need multiple to bring it back. And now they have to show me what their last card is. 4 mana. I don't actually know what this is going to be. Okay, it's a hanger back. Well, that's pretty good. Alright, I'll play my Lion here and get another token. I'm debating whether or not I want to Field of Ruin them just to give myself another wide source. It's sort of tempting. I don't think it's worth it, though. Well, I can just, I guess, decide how low of a life total I want to go to here. I'm just going to play Whitemane line to make a bunch more tokens and just plan on Ormandalling them next turn. They have Gargadon that they can sacrifice to this, actually, so that's actually pretty annoying. So I guess we're on a little bit of a clock here with that in mind. Because they can also sacrifice, while they have the Gargadon anyways, right? They can sacrifice the Thopter so we don't gain life with Ormandal. So it's legitimately kind of annoying. I mean, this will block... I mean, the Squad Hawk loop is actually pretty good here. I guess I don't care about Bloodghast anymore, and now I just want white sources, so... Alright, put a Squadron Hawk on the bottom of our library. Play a Squadron Hawk. I want to have some protection against flyers here. Well, our opponent has basically one thing going for him. It's a Hangerback Walker, but I think we can just go around it here in a turn or two. Whether that involves Ormandal or not, I don't know. I think it's likely I'll end up Field of Ruining them at some point just to get another white source. Also, for what it's worth, we're up to 4 planes for Emeria. I'm going to attack here as well, I think. Yeah, we're suiciding the token, but it actually means that Ormandal threatens lethal next turn. I think that's worth it. Just the ability, if my opponent, does something that, I don't expect, or then maybe we draw a path or what have you, then we can actually, just one-shot them with the 9/7 Ormandal. Alright, our opponent gets their Bloodghast back, which we expected. That's fine. It actually just means it's free now to blow up this Field of Ruin. Yeah, this is all they want to do. Amen. Alright, before damage here, we'll just Field of Ruin out the Overgrown Tomb. So it doesn't come back for free. We're going to add mana to Hangerback, sure. It's interesting. I don't know if they've forgotten about Faithless Looting or they just valued the Bloodghast there, but I feel like Faithless Looting with land in hand is just probably better. It's hard to say. Obviously, they know what their plan is or not. I mean, their plan is this thing, but the problem for them is it's only going to get so big before this thing comes off. All right. I'll get the last actual planes out of my deck here. But this is 4-5. This is 6. That means we're just one away from turning on the Emeria. Yeah, Surgical's not bad here. All right, so if I wanted, I could activate Westfell Abbey, get Ormandal, force them to go for it, to get 3 tokens out of it, which gets them a Gargadon. Oh, no, sorry, it puts the Gargadon on 2. But then they have to start chump blocking with it, and then we're just grinding through them. I think it might be worth it. Counterpoint is, I guess I don't need to do any of that. Let's just attack first. I mean, we're just kind of grinding our opponent out here, a point or 2 at a time, which is pretty much good enough anyways. If they want to throw away all their, using Thopter as a block isn't going to win them the game, yeah, they're just going to take it. Not really sure I have any reason to do anything here but just pass the turn, but I guess I will go ahead and loop a Squad Hawk, because that needs to be done at sorcery speed. Emeria, by the way, like this weird cycle of lands in Zendikar, like Valakut, somehow not legendary. So you can get multiple of these in play. It just makes it a complete free roll to play all 4 of them. I mean, I guess it's not a plane, so it's not a free roll, but it's pretty close. So like I said, I mean, the Westvale Abbey makes the General Emeria plan slightly worse, but kind of, I'm looking at it this way. In the games where Emeria matters and you want 7 or more planes, they're going to be super grindy and long anyways, and you're going to get what you need regardless. I think Westvale Abbey is just having access to one of them is more important in the other matchups. All right, I'm just going to let them have Bloodghast. Of all the things I don't care about, Bloodghast is pretty high up there at this point of the game. And they're going to sacrifice it to the Gargadon. Gargadon down to 1 counter. This gets back the Bloodghast. I mean, they just have to use these as a block. I think we've got things under control here. Bloodghast, by the way, can't block. All right, they're going to have a Gargadon. Don't care much about that. They were not able to trigger Vengevine this turn. Gargadon does have haste, but I have blockers forever. Could also just take it if we really wanted. This should do it. I think the Whitemane line is just going to give us enough attackers to win the game regardless of anything else at this point. I think my opponent will see this and scoop. This is so sick. This combo is just so good. I love when this is what I love about, one of the things I love about Modern, right? We're just dumb cards, right? Oketra's Monument was kind of a standard deck for a while, and then it just fell off the standard map even. And Whitemane Lion was just like a pretty neat limited card trick, right? That you could occasionally get somebody's removal spell for, or whatever. But you put the two together, they're many, many years apart. I actually don't know how many years are apart. I think they're many years apart in printing. But you put it together, and what do you have at the end of it? You just have this crazy deck that just works in Modern. It's just great. So now I just get attacked with the team and kill our opponent. All right, that was pretty sick. The Mistveil Plains with Squadron Hawk loops this game, plus the Whitemane Line and Oketra Monument loops. You just see why this mono white, slightly green, I guess, but for the most part, mono white deck, just by the way, happens to be one of the best creature decks, the best creature decks great at beating creature decks in the format. Oh, that was awesome. There we go. We had exactly lethal. This was sweet. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm Corbin Hostler. This is Mighty Modern. This is Oketra's Monument / Cat / Squad Hawks. I don't know what you want to call it. Martyr Monument's what we're going with. Stick around for some more games. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to more Mighty Modern. All right, so here we go with Martyr Monument here. We've got a Martyr, no Monument, or even the Proc Rebirth. Well, this hand is built to grind. I guess I'll pass on playing this so I can play it on turn 2 and be able to sacrifice it. Basic Mountain, okay. Probably getting burned here. If it is burned, this Martyr Sand is going to be very good. Gaining 9 life off of it, pretty nice. All that said, our hand is actually not really that great. It's very slow, but if our opponent's just on some sort of, burn you to death strategy, just Ranger of Eosine for a bunch of Martyr Sands could be just the trick. It is certainly Mono Mountains. It could be Scred or something, which would be a little different. Oh, they're going to Searing Blaze us. Sure. This is what we want right here. This is the dream matchup, as it turns out. Gain 9 life. Sure, I'll take 3 off your Searing Blaze. It does target, you can't tell from this one, obviously, but it targets a player as well as a creature, so you can't fizzle it, but I can. And just pass the turn here. Like I said, we're not doing much with this hand. It's a very, very slow hand, but it turns out all we need to do is play Martyr Sands. In all likelihood here. I mean, obviously they could have creatures, and burn. They could, with creatures, you're not just on the clock from the burn spells. They last forever, but I would say that we're going to have a lot of time to draw out of this one. Definitely, I'm not going to say the dream matchup because this deck is, we're not playing all the Soul Sisters, right? We don't have Soul's Attendant and Soul Warden to really have a great matchup here, but still pretty good. I mean, after our opponent casts a Swift Spear and 2 burn spells and we're still above 20 life, yeah, I'll take it. Alright. Drawing Squadron Hawk, also pretty sweet. We get to go fetch up a bunch of Martyr Sands here. Got to feel for your opponent. You run into what is essentially an unwinnable matchup. I mean, not completely, obviously, but Man, it's not very good for them either. And by the way, we also have a 3/2 to try to trade with your Monastery Swift Spear. Alright, so I don't even know. They just need a bunch of creatures. Rift Bolt, sure. I think this is going to probably take us a while to win. Our deck does not close fast. That's for sure. It takes a long time to grind out opponents, which is one of the reasons why I like Westphal Abbey. Helps you turn the corner a little quicker against combo when you need to. But I don't really. This game could go 30 turns. We're still going to win at the end of it, in all likelihood here. They do have a nice draw here. Oh, no. It's the no value Searing Blaze. It's to put us back to 20 Searing Blaze. Uh-oh. Yeah, you going to attack? I mean, it enables the attack. It enables it to actually trade with the Ranger of Eos. But I will happily trade that Ranger off. Alright, so I can just play another Ranger here, I think. I think that's the plan. This one gets the other Martyr of Sands plus a Thraben Inspector, and I play the Thraben Inspector. And then I get to play the Martyrs with an absolutely stacked hand. Seems pretty good. Alright, so we got another 3/2. We add a Clue and a Thraben Inspector to the board. Our opponent's down to 4 cards in hand after they draw here. There's a Rift Bolt to take care of our Ranger of Eos, but, I mean, we're still at 20 life. And we have 3 Martyr of Sands that are going to gain quite a bit. I mean, at a minimum, the first one's gaining 18 life. I mean, our opponent could Skullcrack us or whatever. That's certainly a thing. But just resolving that first one for 9 life was huge. They're just gonna go for our face, huh? Helix us, okay. Eidolon. Well, Eidolon is at least good. Eidolon is something that, you know, we kind of care about. But I don't think I care enough. I think I'm happy to pay the 2 here to gain the 18. And I'm just gonna do it now while they're tapped out. I wouldn't be surprised to see our opponent scoop when we reveal 6 white cards in our hand. Alright, that one gains 18. This one's going to gain 15. And then I will just pass the turn back. Happy to take the long view of this one as we pass the turn with 40 life against Burn. Maybe I'll get to make a Brizella. I'd sure like to make a Brizella, everybody. I've never done it. I've never made a big card. In fact, I would love to do this in paper and just have the giant card. You know, you get to sit, sit down to your opponent, and when you have to attack, it's just, you know, both hands and just like, rah. Anyways, I'll get Lava Spiked in the meantime. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. First things up, attack with the Ranger. Alright, play the Martyr of Sands. And I guess just pass the turn here. Yeah, I can play Whitemane Lion and crack a Clue if I need to. I can get 12 life out of the Martyr Sands if I need to. Playing Whitemane Lion, just picking up Ranger of Eos so we get more Thraben Inspectors is exactly the kind of value I'm into, by the way. Just the grindiest, slowest of value possible. This is just a nice... This is really interesting because this is a nice side effect of our deck, basically. This Martyr of Sands for a billion play, right? It's the thing our deck does for, just as a side note, right? It's there to keep us alive. This is just kind of generically good in our deck. But fundamentally it's not here to, be broken. That's not even the primary aim of our deck. We want to play Oketra's Monument and, have all of the combos with that. But it's so cool. This is just this sort of side benefit we get here. Go get the last 2 Thraben Inspectors out of the deck. Improving our draw step every step of the way here as well. Not to mention making the Martyr of Sands even better. And we have an Emeria. We just get enough lands to just loop Martyr of Sands forever. Alright, we'll take down the Eidolon. I mean, that's not surprising. Our opponent wanted it gone. I'll just play a Thraben Inspector and pass the turn. Yes, I'm going to gain a little less life out of this Martyr this way, but it's better than just trying to pop it and getting skull cracked or whatever. They've certainly probably dealt us 20 points of burn this game. I'll give them that. I just have no reason to ever sacrifice this Martyr of Sands until they... I mean, it's just no reason to do anything. Alright, there's an Eidolon. Well, now they can't skull crack, so I will. Alright, we'll gain 15 more, go up to 48 life. But hey, they got through all of them. There are no more Martyr of Sands coming, I promise. Alright, there's an Emeria. Alright, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 untapped mana. Not enough for a Bruna. It is, however, enough for this this Archangel Avacyn. I guess I could save it. Yeah, I'll save it. Why not? I love Archangel Avacyn in Modern. This deck is so cool. It plays so many cards that are just non-existent in Modern. Thraben Inspector. I mean, that's a little played, I guess. There are Martyr decks, too. That's a thing, right? But... we're playing Oketra's Monument. We're playing Archangel Avacyn. We're playing Bruna and Gisela. A combo that basically never even happened in Standard. But we get to do it. We're playing Thalia's Lancers. This deck is just really neat. And what I love about it is it's not just... we're not just playing these cards because, oh, look at us, meme deck, right? Because everyone can play bad cards and say, oh, it's so cool, I'm playing bad cards or whatever. And I'm not saying this is the best deck in the world, but I am saying that these things actually make sense. This deck is going to grind out games. It's going to gain a bunch of life. This stupid Bruna, Gisela, Brizella combo is kind of a thing that can happen, right? And it's kind of exactly what you need in certain situations. And with the Emerias to bring things back from your graveyard, and with the Mistveiled Plains to put things onto the bottom of your library to loop, etc. for Thalia's Lancers, it's actually so much more reasonable to pull off than you think. And now once you realize, oh, we're playing Thalia's Lancers, well, this Archangel Avacyn makes a lot of sense too. You can search for it. It has very unique effect, very good against Supreme Verdict, for instance, etc. It can flip into the Purifier and wipe the board. I just love when weird decks come together with card choices you don't see anywhere else, but make sense, right? That's the important part. Is everything in here? It makes sense that it's in here. That's what I love. All right, don't think we need Pyromancer here. I guess I'll take Sigarda. It's at least a card. I mean, none of this really does much against our opponent. Turns out our main deck's already pretty well set up against them. But Sigarda seems better than Pyromancer. Oh, this is tempting. Oh, this is so tempting on the draw. I'm not going to keep it, but... I'm going to keep this one, though. I guess that's fine. I'll draw that, and I can play it tapped on the first turn. Oh, wow. Our opponent must be the one basic plains in the deck here. I might even just play Squadron Hawk on turn 2 to maximize the life we'd have the Martyr of Sands later. Alright, let's see if my opponent has a 2-drop. They do not. Okay. Well, I think I like playing the Squadron Hawk just to fill our hand up here. I could have gone for the tap land, but it's just play a Squadron Hawk and we can at least start poking our opponent down. Also, if they hit a red source or whatever and play Eidolon, it's better to get as much of this out now as we can. Alright, I'm just going to pick them all up and then discard a land in the end step here. I think 4 lands is likely to be enough to win this game. Plus, obviously, any future draws. Boros, Charm, deal 4 to us. Sure thing. Alright, next turn I'm probably just going to play Emeria and Martyr of Sands. With any luck, my opponent will tap out, so we don't have to worry about getting skull cracked here. Not a given. I mean, it can be kind of awkward timing your Martyr of Sands around their can't gain life spells, but, I mean, 1 mana is a pretty low cost to hold up for it. Especially we're not under any pressure by creatures or anything. I imagine my opponent kept a hand with to play based on the line they've played this game so far with no, no creatures and not lava spiking or anything like that. I have to believe that the most likely scenario is that they have some sort of Skullcrack hand and they kept it because of that. So with that said, heck, I'm just going to play another Squadron Hawk. I mean, we do have to kill our opponent. It is conceivable that there's no way in which we can play around the Skullcrack or whatever throughout the game. So we do kind of have to worry about actually killing our opponent. Don't just get to kind of, just do whatever we want like we did in the first game because we have such a high pad to not have to worry about it. But our opponent seems to be very consciously holding up Skullcrack and saving it. I mean, it could be that they were always going to hold up Lightning Helix there and it doesn't make any difference, but I'm at least going to respect it as long as they're showing it. Wow, that's pretty good too. Well, new plan is to just play Gisela and make our opponent deal with that, because this card also has lifelink. Do have to deal a little damage to ourselves here, but it seems worth it. Think they expected to see this? What do you say? Think our opponent expected us to play Gisela, the Broken Blade in Modern? Yeah, they're reading it. I don't blame them. I think they can actually Skullcrack the lifelink here too, in response even to our Martyr of Sands when we try to play it next turn. And we are kind of getting to the point of the game where I don't think I can slow roll it anymore. I think I might just have to play it. I'm trying to bait out the life gain prevention spell, but they just have a path. Yeah, I'm down for that. Certainly doesn't hurt me to have our creature path exiled here. We can make use of the mana. We have Archangel Avacyn to fulfill our expensive angel quota. Uh-oh. Are we dead? Down to 9. No, we're not dead. All right. All right, well. Here goes Martyr Sands, I guess. I'm going to play the Thraben Inspector as well. Alright, so my plan is to just hold this Martyr until the last possible moment. Maybe maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But the thing is, my opponent needs 3 burn spells to kill me, and they have 3 cards in hand. So one of them can be Skullcrack, and that can get us. But if I just try to be patient and don't put the Thraben Inspector onto the stack until the last moment, maybe they kind of need an additional one that way. Let's go ahead and pop our clue, see what we get here. Okay, I think I don't do it still. I think I'm still just supposed to hold off. I think I attack with the team. Well, actually, I need to keep. I'm gonna keep a couple back in case something weird happens and creatures become involved. Haste creatures on their side. I mean, maybe maybe I don't need to do this, but I am gonna play Gisela though. So this is another card they have to answer. So this puts it into a situation where, with the Martyr of Sands in play, they have to top deck something here, I think, to be able to stop us from gaining life. Because they can go for a burn spell here, and I just let it resolve. Well, that actually would tap them down. Depends what it is. Oh, they have another path, though. Jeez, okay. Well, I guess that resolves. The sideboarded paths have actually been very, very good for them. I've respected this spell the entire game here, and I guess I might as well keep trying. Maybe I'm being way too greedy and people at home are watching and saying, hey, you shouldn't play it like that, but I'm trying to respect the fact that they have demonstrated that they have it every step of the way. Now, maybe we're just dead regardless, Maybe I'm just giving them more. They could go bolt, put another bolt on the stack to try to be lethal. Then I respond by sacrificing it, and then they, throw down the Skullcrack or whatever. But I'm trying to make them have it all, and I get a flash in Archangel Avacyn here, puts them dead in 2 turns. Those Giselles were actually the perfect cards, but all right, they hit a land though. All right, so here comes Archangel Avacyn. I wonder... Cataclysmic Gearhulk would allow us to actually sacrifice a creature and transform this and deal 3 damage to each opponent. Wonder if that matters. Now, Martyr of Sands here should win us the game. This should be enough. We hit what we needed here. I guess I'll never know without seeing... Oh my gosh, stop with the Path to Exiles, man. Okay. Sure thing. I got 1 left, right? Not even a Plains. This is fine, though. I think this probably locks up the game. It's just mono 1 power beatdown that's going to win us this game. Because here we go. Even if our opponent has Skullcrack, we're going to get to gain our 12 life. Should be enough to win. Now, if our opponent tries to Skullcrack in response, I get to sacrifice the other Martyr, gain my 12 life, and after I gain my life, that should be enough to lock things up. I hope they have it too. I hope they play it right here, and I get to feel rewarded for playing well. They're paying costs. They had it! I did it, everybody! I did it! Oh, man. Oh, it feels good. It feels good. I respected it from turn 2 on. Was extremely disciplined with it. I'm actually going to get paid off by getting to gain my 12 life here. So, the first one, the first Martyr of Sands doesn't do anything. The Skullcrack resolves before it. But that second one gained us our 12 life. And against a burn player, that's going to be enough to do it in all likelihood here. We have follow-ups. I guess I could have played more Squad Hawks there. I kind of got too excited and just passed over it. But we'll knock our opponent down to 4. They're not going to deal 14 damage to us, so I'm going to play these Squadron Hawks. It's possible this deck... keep in mind, I did cut a Plains or 2 from the main deck here. One for the Westvale Abbey and then another for some fetch lands to up the consistency of the green mana. And maybe that was wrong. Maybe the Field of Ruins are enough. Maybe we did not need a fetch lands. Fetch lands also, though, give you the ability if you put something on the bottom with Mistveil Plains, to shuffle it around so you can actually, maybe have an odds of drawing it. Also, with the Scattered Groves, I liked the ability to fetch them into play since they come into play tapped. And a lot of times that doesn't matter when you're just fetching out Temple Gardens. But it can matter with those, right? So you don't want to draw an tap land when you need an untapped land. So, but there's a cost in that. Just sort of when you naturally play the game, your Mary is slightly less possible to get going. I think there's something like 9 or 10 planes in the deck still. But it's just something to keep in mind that if you're looking to trim, you could trim a little bit of the fetch land mana base and add another basic planes or 2. But there you go, everybody. We took down Burn. Sequence your Martyr of Sands well, and you sometimes get rewarded. Thanks for watching. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Here we go with some more Mining Modern. This hand, I'm pretty sure I'm into this. We have a couple lands here. It's pretty slow. Obviously, we have 2 5-drops, which, by the way, are sweet. Cataclysmic Gearhulk, but not the fastest of cards. However, with Squad Hawk and Oketra's Monument, I think I can be pretty happy with this. And our opponent's mulligan, and I do believe we're on the play here. So, all of that said, if we can hit a land in our first couple draw steps here, I think we'll be okay. Obviously, our deck is very dependent on what our opponent is playing. We want to grind it out against creature decks, etc. We don't want to play against... We really don't want to play against Steam Vent decks, to be honest. But that's what the sideboard's for. Alright, Shalai is not a land. Sweet card, not a land. We can go get a couple Squadron Hawks here. We play 24 lands in this deck. which is actually closer to, you know, the high end of a mid-range control deck than it is anything else. So our odds are, you know, decent here, 22 out of 50. Not quite 50%, but not terribly far off either. All right, so I don't know what's... I guess Steam and Seachrome Coast... Oh, okay, it's Storm, I suppose, but an interesting version of it. Land? Well, I guess if we're not going to hit a land, that's not the worst. I like keeping Path up in case our opponent is on this turn when we have a 1-drop that we can play. That actually has some value. Maybe less so against this version. You know, Pyromancer's Ascension, once they get that going, they're going to be able to kill you from basically anything. The, you know, sort of the normal Gifts Ungiven version of Storm would maybe have trouble getting up to 40 Storm count or whatever. But I liked keeping up Path to Exile while we had the ability to keep our opponent from just playing, you know, a Baral or whatever and going off here. All that said, if I hit land, I'm obviously tapping out for Oketra's Monument. Alright, I can't say that I'm feeling good about where we're at here, but we'll see what happens. Oh, they want to Fort Bolt us, huh? Okay. I guess that's pretty good. Maybe it's just a control deck? Maybe it's not a Storm deck? Maybe it's just Jeskai control with the Ascension engine? That was a thing for a while. I'm going to gain a bunch of life here, though. 18, I believe. Alright, so this will still kill our Squad Hawk. Alright, I'd sure like to hit a land here. Play a Monument out. Opponent's down to 4 cards in hand. This is going to be an interesting game. They went 1 top, 1 bottom with the Serum Visions. Land? Well, we did it, but did we? Alright, that's fine. I get a Squad Hawk here, fill my hand up with Squadron Hawks. Next turn, play the Monument. Not ideal, but, you know, I guess we made a land drop at least. I'm not sure how I feel about these in the deck. Obviously, I just took the list that did online. For the most part, I made a couple small changes based on my experience with the archetype, but I didn't want to mess with this. I like having cycling lands. We're playing 24. It can mitigate it a little bit. Hey, interesting. Well, all right, I guess we attack first here. Not even convinced we're going to resolve this Oketra's Monument. Seems like they're not a Storm deck, though. I think we can reasonably conclude that at this point. Alright, let's play a Monument. I'm not sure about these Gear Hulks, by the way. They don't exactly play nicely with... I mean, they can play nicely with the Monument. You know, you play Monument and then you play Gear Hulk. And you keep Monument as your artifact, Gear Hulk as your creature. But... I'm not sure. It feels like our deck's already good against go-wide creature decks, which is kind of what this is aimed for. So I'm not sure. We've been remanded. Okay. And an opt. Yeah, this is sort of spiraling out of control here. Oh, we have to discard to hand size too. That's kind of rough. I guess I'll discard a Gear Hulk. It doesn't seem like it's going to do much. We could make them go down to 1 Pyromancer's Ascension, I suppose. What an odd game. I really don't like our opponent just passing the turn back every turn. I do like drawing to Maria Ruin, though. I mean, I guess I don't really have anything better to do than just tap out for the Monument again. It's the highest upside play. Because it is very conceivable. Yes, they could have another remand, and that's really bad for us. They could also just have a bunch of actual removal spells in their hand. Snapcaster, not exactly the best synergy with Pyromancer's Ascension. We are going to get remanded again, though. Well, okay, I guess. I'm not really sure how I feel about how this game's progressing. You know, it's like turn 6 or 7 now. Our opponent has no counters on the Pyromancer's Ascension. Their graveyard isn't even stocked. We're at 38 life. I mean, it's conceivable we can just run them out of cards. I do like hitting land there. We resolved a monument. Step 1. This Shalai could be pretty good too, by the way. I mean, I guess it would just die, but... Alright, let's play Squadron Hawk. Well, we can at least put some threats down on the board for our opponent to worry about here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 3. I think I have another one in there. I do not. Alright, whatever. We get a shuffle. Can I not count? Oh, there's one dead already. Okay. That's fine. Play the other one. Get some more tokens. And we'll see what our opponent can do about it. They could obviously have Anger of the Gods, Supreme Verdicts, all of those things. Then we aren't even very good against those things, right? Our particular hand. We are almost to the point where we can just Martyr proc some stuff. Uh-oh. Alright, this Ascension gets going where things are going to get ugly pretty fast. Oh no. Oh no. That was so many lightning bolts. Well, the good news is we actually don't care about the lightning bolts in the sense that a bunch of 1-for-1 removal is actually very bad against our deck. On the other hand, the Pyromancer Ascension is now I think we're just going to die. It's interesting. As a value engine, Pyromancer's Ascension is not unbeatable given that we have our own value engine. But as soon as they find something like, you know, Cryptic Command to copy and just get it start bouncing everything, I'm pretty sure that we're not going to win from this point. And I can't actually kill it either. Oh, look, I can kill one of them, which has value. I'm definitely blocking. We should be able to make as many tokens as we want this game. Yeah, this might be a game. Maybe if we could actually get this Emeria going. We're at 1, 2. Well, we're at 3. That's not very many. I'm so tempted to just play Cataclysmic Gearhulk here. In fact, I think I'm going to do it. We lose our token if this resolves, but we'd get to kill one of their Ascensions, which I think is important. Hey, it's going to work too. I mean, this at least... okay, so how do I do this? Choose this. Yes, I will choose that. I'll also choose this. Okay, there we go. Who knows? Maybe maybe Cataclysmic Gearhulk was a hero we needed all along. We shouldn't have discarded. Well, at least if they only have one Ascension, it's actually conceivable that we could win with a, you know, quote-unquote fair game plan here, despite the value. If they got 2 of them going, there's almost no way we could. And I don't think we're going to beat 1, but it's at least possible. I mean, we can start looping this thing every turn. We can just return Martyr of Sands from our graveyard to our hand every turn. Yep. My opponent is going to get its draw so many. They have so much card selection right now. It's, you know, it doesn't seem great. If they go for removal on Gearhulk, I'll probably just path it, because I feel like getting this Emeria going is one of the few ways we actually have to try to outvalue it. But I mean, hey, maybe if we can keep it to 1 Ascension the whole game because we're marrying back this this other Cataclysmic Gearhulk, who knows? All right, they're not killing it though. Oh, I can't even activate the Mistfell Plains here. Okay. Thalia's Lancers, huh? All right. You know what, Thalia's Lancers, if we were able to make Brazella somehow, that was actually a pretty good path to winning the game. That would be pretty sick, to be honest. Our opponent just throwing it away, huh? All right, I'm in. Okay, let's play Thalia's Lancers. Why not? I need to add 1 more white here. All right. Get another token. I'm sure my opponent's reading this one. It's also, oh my gosh, it's going to resolve. Well, this is going to be a weird game, everybody. Strap in. Thalia's Lancers, by the way, can get Oketra's Monument. It can even get Pyromancer. Pyromancer's pretty sweet, actually. I wonder if that's the play. It might be. I'm tempted to get just get the Bruna and try to get to Brizella, because I feel like making Brizella is one of the ways we win the game. But you know what? Getting Pyromancer... Well, we don't necessarily have a ton of... We only have one more creature spell to actually play with the Pyromancer. But, you know, I would assume we'll draw some. Our deck is full of plenty. That's got to be better than just getting Bruna. This is hilarious. I'm loving this game. Alright, we'll pass the turn. And I am well within possibility of just pathing my own warrior token to get to this Emeria a little faster. Emeria seems to be like the best path to winning this game. It is... we're going to be here for a while, I think, but it's going to be fun. That our opponent's just going to kill us. Oh, they have path. Oh, no. They really want us to have Emeria. I mean, there's so many things. It's hard to say. I mean, our opponent could just have loops that we can't beat at some point in here. Due to the Pyromancer's Ascension. You know, for all I know, there's some hard end game we're just not going to beat. Kind of makes my Pyromancer look bad if they're just going to give me all the lands. I can prevent damage to it, though. Alright, well, let's play it. Excuse me. So where are we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're actually going to have this next turn. Assuming this Pyromancer resolves. Even if it doesn't, we might. Oh, it did resolve. Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to play Shalai now. Alright, I would like to use the ability. I guess I'll just get this other Misfail Plains. Well, okay, we have Hexproof for the moment. Not that that really means much, I think, but... We can, every turn now, we can just put creatures on the... We're not going to deck. At least I don't think so. We have a Pyromancer that I don't even know if we can make it. I guess we can activate, turn it into a creature at some point, but... Heck, maybe we'll just Shalai people. Maybe we'll just make a bunch of warriors and Shalai our opponent to death. It feels so unlikely. Our opponent has so many cards. They're just getting more and more cards every turn. But who knows? Who knows? I feel like we're still behind, but at least we're having fun. We're doing some objectively fun thing. Oh, no, that's pretty good. Yep. I wish I had a sacrifice outlay right now more than anything. I wish I had Westvale Abbey. I could just sacrifice all my creatures so they don't get pathed. It's going to be very difficult for us to win. The thing is, though, our opponent's Path to Exiles are also going to be pretty taxed here. And they've already played 3 Snapcaster Mages. Because Shalai giving us Hexproof means... If they, you know, want to shoot our Shalai to put it into our graveyard, to then have the plan to shoot us to death with, you know, copied lightning bolts or whatever, they're actually going to get kind of hosed by the Emeria bringing back Shalai every turn. All of that said, though, our opponent's on 8 cards, bunch of mana. They get to do whatever they want with the stacking of the stuff. I don't think that we have a better engine here, but we're going to try. Well, you know what? I can get a Cataclysmic Gearhold back for that if they look like they're going to flip it. Unfortunately, there's the Shalai. Yeah, I'd say things are not looking great. And we're out of basics to search for, too. Not that that really matters. Alright, so I need to do this while I still have the permanents. Just going to put a Squad Hawk on the bottom. This deck is sweet, though. I'll give that to our opponent. This Pyromancer Ascension deck is cool. Pyromancer Ascension Control. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I'll be getting back Cataclysmic Gearhulk immediately here. I mean, Path to Exiling tokens, though, I'd say that. It doesn't seem like exactly how they want to be spending their Path to Exiles. All that said... It does mean they get to do this, and then... No. right, so my opponent says, I've never done the full combo turn on MTGO. So maybe there's a combo here. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going to happen. They have some way to loop things back. I assume it involves Metamorphosing with Remand. I'm not sure that I want to wade through this whole thing. Well, it's too bad. We had fun. We did not win, but we did have fun. I think the idea here is our opponent gets to use the 2 copies of Metamorphose to draw 2 cards, make mana, and then they can remand the Metamorphose back to their hand. Use the Remand. So they're going to get 2 Remand copies, one of them on the original Metamorphose, the other Remand copy on the Remand itself. Yeah, so now what's going to happen is they're going to draw their deck this way. They're going to draw their deck and make near infinite mana, I guess, if they do it properly. Yeah. So the first Remand copy targets their own Remand, puts it back into their hand. The second one puts a Metamorphose back in their hand. The end result, all of this, as you can see, is that they've netted mana. At the end of it, they will have drawn their deck. Storm count will be... Will storm count be 38, though? I'm kind of inclined to let them do this here. And, you know, I'm not... I'm certainly not a huge fan of drawing games out when I'm dead or whatever, but drawing a card off Remand is not an option, nor is it on Metamorphose. They have to get storm count to 38 to kill us. And they have 25 cards left in their library. And they're the combo draws them multiple cards every iteration. I'm actually not convinced that they are able to finish us off here. Obviously, they can destroy our board. They can draw their deck. It depends what they have at the end of it, right? You know, if they have Cryptic Command to bounce our Emeria or something like that, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe they can loop together enough burn. But they have to find all these burn spells and then use them to kill us. It's possible. I mean, I'd say possible. It's likely, I suppose. But without another Ascension, their mana may get taxed a little bit in this. It's hard to tell exactly how this is working here. I'm content to let them go for a minute, though. They need to figure out their deck. I'll give them the practice. I guess clock's also a thing. But from what I can tell, from what they're doing right now, they're drawing their deck, but they're only ending with 2 mana at the end of these iterations, which means they're not going to have enough to Lightning Bolt us to death. They'd only have 18 in burn with 3 copies of the bolts. And Storm Count, I don't think, is going to be 38. So they're going to have to show me something here. I would assume that they have it. I mean, they have assembled their combo. I would assume that it has a way of beating us, but they haven't. I mean, they haven't done it yet. Looks like they're producing mana now. Oh, they've let that Metamorphose resolve because they realize with another Metamorphose they can keep going. Okay, so here we go. Lightning Helix on us. That's 18 or 9. Guess gaining a bunch of life is actually a viable thing to do here. Maybe I should have proclamation back my Martyr and gain some more life. All right, well, here comes another 9. If they have Lightning Helix, though, it seems reasonable that they're going to be able to because they have, you know, they have more Metamorphoses. They have another Snapcaster Mage in the deck. They have a couple more Lightning Bolts and the Lightning Helixes. They should have 20 points here, but I don't know. I mean, when you play a combo deck, you play it to combo, right? No one ever wants to say, I'm going to start my combo, and then you never get to do your fun thing because someone scoops. So I'm going to let my opponent have it for the moment, at least. Yeah, it looks like they're on this Lightning Helix plan. I basically think I know everything we need to know about this deck to understand how to sideboard. We want some surgical extractions. We want ways to kill Pyromancer's Ascension. Pyromancer Ascension. Don't actually know how many of those ways we have, but Fork Bolt, well, that'll deal 6 to us. This is really interesting. Jeskai, Pyromancer, Ascension control. I guess it's good. I mean, they have, you know, they have a bunch of removal, a bunch of burn, so their deck is sort of automatically set up against... the idea of the deck actually makes a lot of sense, right? They're automatically set up against creature decks because they can they just have all this burn they get to play, and just like a normal Jeskai control deck. But oh, by the way, they also have this card that it's sort of like Search for Ascanta. You get it down on turn 2, and it pays you off on turn 7 or 8, right? Search for Ascanta pays you off very slowly, while being a little more difficult to interact with. Pyromancer Ascension, once it transforms anyways. Pyromancer Ascension gives you a huge payoff when you get there, but it requires you to have more cards in hand. It's sort of a different mechanic. That was very interesting, though. All right, what do we have here for this? Damping Sphere seems incredibly good. Incredibly good. As does making a Brizella. Okay. Our Whitemane line is going to be not actually worse than it usually is. All right, so Pyromancer I can get rid of. Avacyn I can get rid of. Sigarda, huh? It's got hexproof, so I think just for that reason it's probably reasonable. Stony Silence doesn't seem to do anything. Sorcerer's Spyglass does not stop Pyromancer Ascension. It's not an activated ability. It's a triggered ability. Surgicals seem good. Just value Surgicals even. All right, we'll get rid of one Gear Hulk. I kind of like having one. I guess I get rid of the other Archangel. Cut the Ranger, cut a proc. A lot of sideboarding we have to do here. I guess I can get rid of all of my paths, actually, so we get a little back. I'll get the proc back, and I'll get it. Archangel Avacyn back, I think. All right, I think this is good. We've got our combo pieces with Monument. We've got, you know, our early game. We have a little bit of hate here, just incidental hate. I mean, to be honest, I don't think we're great against them. I think we're reasonably set up against them, but I don't think we're actually great. Damping Sphere is kind of what we're leaning on here. We get a play first. Let's hope we find it. Okay. Oh, man. I don't think I can mulligan this hand. I think that trying to mulligan to Damping Sphere is just a risk not worth taking. This hand is reasonable. It puts things down early. It gives us clues to dig later. It's got a Surgical for the first Snapcaster or the first, you know, Pyromancer Ascension or whatever. Our opponent is going to Serum Visions, sure. I don't know. This is one of those hands. It's one of those hands I'd be really happy to keep if I was up a game. Down a game, it's a little less, but just having these stupid Thraben Inspectors, this card is possibly the most, I'm not going to say underrated, overrated. I would say that when you look at a card, it does kind of nothing, sort of objectively nothing. And yet Thraben Inspector probably puts in more work for a card that looks like it does nothing than any other. And in this game, these two Thraben Inspectors here that we have played out on turn 1 and 2 are going to actually tax our opponent a little bit. They're going to poke in at them while we, you know, sort of do whatever else we want to do. Unfortunately, what I want to do is hit lands, and I'm not doing that. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, that made this plan a lot worse. I thought it was a perfectly reasonable keep. We had 3 shots. We had 2 lands. We had 3 shots at 24 cards on our deck. And 22 of them, I guess. Alright, let's see what my opponent's up to here. Another Ascension, huh? Okay. Well, I will be Surgicaling in their turn. Land? Man, come on, game. That's too bad, because I'm actually pretty interested to see how our deck plays out against them, but it looks like we're not really going to get to play Magic this time around. Which is unfortunately part of the deal. Well, I'll set a stop in their draw step. Guess I'll discard this Ranger of Eos. Alright, I'm going to Surgical the Serum Visions here. It may or may not do anything. Our opponent may just run away with the game with these Pyromancer Ascensions. Unfortunate, they have 4 of them, found 2 of them. We have 4 Damping Spheres and found 0 of them. Alright, so we did not hit any in our opponent's hand, unfortunately. Our opponent's hand is completely stacked. You know, it seems pretty bad for us. Mismatched art for the full tilt, I like it. Alright, well. You know, like I said, these Thraben Inspectors, they kind of did serve their purpose, right? I mean, with 2 of them in play, our opponent's down to 13. If we'd got to play a reasonable game, Besides that, we would have been in a pretty good spot. Unfortunately, we did not. If my opponent taps their blue mana, I'm just going to play the Whitemane Lion. I assume they're going to opt in the instep here. They want to... Well, okay. I guess I can actually stop the life gain here. The value Whitemane Lion. Love it. Okay. Well, this game is... Maybe our opponent won't be... Maybe they'll just be dead cards and we'll just beat our opponent down with 1/2s and 1/3s. Oh, so their hand didn't stay revealed to me? Oh, come on, Magic Online. That's too bad. Well, that's pretty good. Alright, they got 4 cards. One's a Snapcaster. Let's see if I can find where it looked. Hey, a Damping Sphere. They have Remand, though. I know that, so that's not going to resolve. Land, just too much to ask for here, I guess. Alright, well, we'll knock our opponent down to 10, maybe. I would love for them to tap their mana. Alright, we'll go ahead and play our Thraben Inspector. I think the only way we can win is... I mean, we know they have Remand. Yeah, and they're going to Remand the Thraben Inspector. At least we can replay it. If we try for the Damping Sphere there, there's no chance that's going to happen. I would say our path to victory at this point involves our opponent doing whatever it is they choose to do, but allowing us to resolve Damping Sphere because it messes up the combo and might actually be pretty difficult for them to interact with as a whole. We are just not catching a break, though. Our deck doing us no favors here. And I guess we have the value Whitemane Lion if they go for another removal spell. Alright, well, they have 4 cards in hand. Oh. Damping Sphere or Crack a Clue? Or do nothing and hold up Whitemane Lion. They don't have Cryptic Command, which I may not even be in their deck. I'll just play it. It's very possible they have a bunch of burn in their hand. They're going to Snapcast their Remand, but that's... Oh, they just have the other one. Okay, well, that'll kill us. The thing is, Snapcast or Remand there is super fine. It exiles the Remand. That would have been great for us. Instead, they just drawn another one, so we're dead. And we even get a discard to hand size. That's pretty sweet. This deck does not kill you fast, though. There we are. Just unable to play the game. It's fine. Just put us out of our misery, right? Not with this deck. All that said, we could actually die this turn, right? If they just play... okay, they're going to play nothing instead. Hey, a land. What do you know? Let's try to attack our opponent down to 5. See what happens. Alright. Lightning Helix. Yep. Well, this is actually kind of good for me that they did this, to be honest. I guess it depends what their hand is. If they have another Remand, the game's over. But if they just have Snapcaster and Burn or whatnot, and we resolve this Damping Sphere, maybe it's not over. Well, Damping Sphere resolved. Okay. I guess it probably doesn't matter. Our opponent doesn't need to combo off. They can just play 2 Lightning Bolts and kill us. So I guess we're just dead regardless here. Oh, they have a Wear Tear. Alright, we're just dead. Alright, well, that's unfortunate, but thanks for watching, everybody. It was a good game. Hey, everyone. More Mining Modern coming to you here. This hand is iffy. So we're on the play. You know, it's got a path. It's got a Whitemane Lion. It's got some nice cards. It desperately needs to hit lands. We have several shots at doing that. I think I'm going to ship it. I think we can do better. I think having a 4 and a 5... 2, 4... I think there's too many uncastable cards here. Having the basic forest isn't ideal either. This hand's much better. That wasn't an easy decision. I am sometimes bad about keeping hands like that, but I think we made the right call there. I just always... And this is confirmation bias, clearly, right? But it always feels like... when you mulligan a mediocre but maybe playable 7 and the odds of looking for, you know, quote, a better 6 That's just when you get the unplayable auto mulligan 6, right? And then you're on 5, etc. But that's just a bias of mine I'm working to overcome, right? That's everyone has these tendencies in Magic, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be aware of it. All right, Elves, huh? Fair enough. I guess we're just mono Thraben Inspectors here. Our hand, I don't know how our deck fares against Elves, to be honest. If they just kind of go off, I think we probably don't fare great. But, I mean, we have the ability, especially on the play, I think, to match up with them. Unfortunately, this hand does not necessarily do that. We need lands. I mean, we can crack clues next turn if we, you know, probably... Oh, our opponent doesn't have... Our opponent just whiffed. Okay. Well, just kidding. We hit our land. Everything is A-okay now. I should not have played that land, though. That was dumb. I don't think I'm going to get... No, I might get punished for it because I can't crack both clues. I say that. I don't think that's... Maybe. I played this with the idea that I can hit a white 1-drop and play it. That's why I played the Field of Ruin. I mean, I guess there's more white 1-drops in the deck because there's 5 of them than there are Emerias. Or Scattered Groves. But I think it was an acceptable decision anyways. Alright, well I guess we play Emeria here because we just want to cast Archangel Avacyn on time and try to kill our opponent that way. Whitemane Lion, okay. I also could have played a Whitemane Lion, picked up a Thraben Inspector instead. I'm not sure if that would have, if that's relevant or not. I think just drawing a card's fine. Well, it's unfortunate for our opponent here. They obviously had a pretty reasonable hand that they didn't get to play. They desperately needed lands or mana dorks, and in Elves on the draw, it seems like a completely defensible keep that unfortunately did not quite work out for them. And oh, they actually didn't that time. I was going to say, they even get the feel bads of running their Heritage Druid into an Archangel Avacyn, but they don't get to do that. So what's pretty cool, we can't do it here, but this is something available to the deck with either 7 mana or 5 mana if you have a Oketra's Monument in play. You can actually Whitemane Lion, pick up an Archangel Avacyn for value, replay it still at instant speed to give your team protection from a board wipe, which is kind of cool. That puts our opponent down to 7. You're just going to play out some flyers here now. I wonder if there's an argument to be made for hitting my opponent's land. I kind of think there is. I guess it doesn't matter, really. There's just basically no way. Oh, I misclicked one of them. Well, there's basically no way they can do anything, but it does seem like I could, you know, I could Field of Ruin this land and make them go search a basic forest up, which, you know, slightly lessens their chance of drawing a forest next turn. Not that it really matters, obviously. We have Archangel Avacyn, it's just going to seal the deal. Elves can't really do anything about flyers. So, on to game 2, I imagine. Maybe, unless our opponent might be queuing up a message here for us. Well, all right. Just gonna, yeah, throwing in elite companies. Our opponent's hand was very good. All right, on to game 2. Yeah, you have a lot of great cards that unfortunately didn't get to play. Settle the Wreckage seems very good for us here. Probably the only good stuff for us here. Things that don't matter very much. Shalai doesn't seem like it matters very much. I don't know how good our deck is against them, to be honest. Proclamation of Rebirth doesn't seem great. Seems extremely slow. If we're going to do something slow and dirty, I'd rather it be Bruna. You know what? This... Oh, mana ability, so it doesn't actually... you know what, though? Sorcerer's Spyglass can stop Azuri. I kind of don't hate it. I don't love it, to be fair, because then they still have Azuri, but I feel like we have some already fairly dead cards in our deck. Like Archangel Avacyn. Flipping one seems great, but we don't really have any great way to flip it. I could cut Aegizella. Preserve the ability to make a Brizella, but not not force it. I can just get rid of Pyromancer. That's in there for slower decks. Pyromancer pretty great against a lot of decks. You get to just play creature spells after it, go get all the planes for your Marias. And the neat part about it too is that it's any planes or forests when you cast a creature spell. So you can go get the Scattered Groves if you want to put them in play. You can go get the Temple Garden, etc. Alright, so let's see what is up here. I assume my opponent will have a playable 7 this time around. They are in the... Well, they're in the tank about playing or drawing, I suppose. Oh, my opponent is chatting there. Hey, look, we did it. We've got it all. I don't think I can keep this hand, though. I mean, maybe I can. I'm on the draw. Why not? YOLO. YOLO, make a Brizella. My opponent's calculating the odds in chat. Say there's a 0.17% chance of that happening. Yeah, it's crazy on Magic Online how that stuff happens sometimes. I had a game where my opponent started with turn 0 Leyline. I had 1 Thoughtseize in hand. My next 3 draw steps were Thoughtseize. It's actually on camera. And somebody in the YouTube comments did the math for it, and it was, you know, obviously something absurdly unlikely to happen, right? It's just pretty funny. Alright, so we'll go ahead and play this out. Now, what our deck doesn't have that a lot of these decks do have is access to Wrath of Gods or Dusk to Dawns or what have you. It's something to keep in mind, for sure. Alright, Clan Caller, huh? Clan Caller's sweet. I am a fan of the Clan Caller in Modern Elves. Well, we're not getting very far here. I mean, we're 6 of the 7 lands to our Bruna. I did say YOLO, though, so, you know. Our opponent, our opponent actually doesn't have a great draw here, so we might be able to get there. I mean, I don't know how good Gisela is against them, but it doesn't seem bad. Especially if they're just going wide, right? It seems extremely good if they're on the go wide strategy. Alright, we'll just play another Martyr Sands, I guess. I mean, they're not gaining us much life right now, but it at least they'll soak up some damage by jumping in the way of a 3/3. Okay. Basically, as long as my opponent is not playing Lords out, I'm great. Although this looks like a Lord. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Alright, things are getting out of control here pretty fast. Good news for us, though. There actually is some good news. Our opponent's out of cards, which means their only action next turn is Clan Caller, which they can do and is actually pretty terrifying. But we get to play Gisela, which has First Strike and Lifelink, so it at least limits the number of creatures they can attack with. And we're 23 life. The Squad Hawk is not the worst. All right, here we go. I mean, heck, who knows? Maybe we're gonna somehow get to Brizella this game. Funny part is I think we could play Brizella and possibly even lose. All right, so our opponent now has Clan Caller up, so this is a free attack for them, which is gonna deal 5 to us that I can't do anything about. The problem is going to be that all of these attacks are going to become too much for us. Jeez, like next turn, basically. We need to find something. Need to hit a Path to Exile or something here. These lands are not exactly it. I mean, I guess we're going to live long enough with all these creatures we can throw in front of things that maybe we're going to make a Brizella. Have I got all of them here? Let's see here. I did. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to attack with this. It's not even really holding anything off at this point because of how good Clan Caller is. As a matter of fact, our opponent might even have 12 mana to go get both the Clan Callers out of the deck. And they're flooding out too. See, this is what I'm talking about. This card is actually just very... I guess if you watch my Clan Caller videos from a few weeks ago, this is actually very good in the deck. Like, I'm really not sure that we're going to get out of this in any way here. They did, so they don't have... They actually had enough to go get both. They're going to go get one, which is all they really need to do. This is looking pretty bad for us, to be honest. We need... An Oketra's Monument would be the dream. That would give us enough creatures to survive forever, pretty much. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't play this till next turn. Yeah, I guess we're just playing Squadron Hawks and trying not to die. Oh, I should have cracked... Well, I guess it's the Martyr of Sands is actually worth more as a blocker than it would have been. And maybe I should just sacrifice it to gain the 12, the life. I think it's worth more as a blocker, though. Well, I'm gonna use this on the clue. Alright, well. I'm actually gonna make Brizella, everybody. That's gonna happen. I think I'm dead, though. I get to make 3 blocks. I get to gain 9 life. I'm gonna make Brizella and I'm gonna lose. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, the team. Alright, put this in front of the biggest one. In front of that. In front of that. Oops, not that one. Well, I guess it's all the same. But you know what? I will make Brizella before I die. Hopefully. My opponent might have just drawn Collected Company or whatever here. Cord for another Lord. I mean, that Clan Caller won that game by itself, everybody. That's how strong that card is. We never found a removal for it. And Elvish Clan Caller just won our opponent the game because we would have had that Gisela. If there was an Elvish Visionary or whatever it is people had before, we would have survived long enough for Gisela to get there, and then we would have made it Brizella. You know what though? I'm gonna do. I said I wanted to make a big card. I'm gonna make a big card. Bruna, get on in there. Oh, I get to return something to play? Oh, the value. Oh, if I had another land, getting back these Martyr Sands would be good. This is pretty funny. I just want to make a big card. I'm so excited. So they don't have to be untapped or anything, right? Get on in there. I mean, we got our opponent down to 8. Look, we did it! We have Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, and they can't cast spells with converted mana cost 3 or less. Unfortunately, Collected Company has a mana cost of 4. But, you know what? Who cares? It was fun. Oh, Shaman of the Pack. That's just rude. That's rude. That was a fun game, though. I did it. I made a Brizella. Then we died. But hey, we made a Brizella. I just have no way to do anything about their deck, though. That's what feels pretty bad here. Well, my opponent's so salty. They say it's a Christmas miracle that they drew lands. Come on, man. Just play. All right, here we go. We got a Monument and a Squad Hawk. That's good enough, I think. I don't know if we're going to be able to get there. Like I said, I don't think we have a good matchup against Elves without the Wraths. I think this deck probably needs a few Wrath of Gods in the sideboard, or whatever your preferred. Hey, this could be good though. Yeah, whatever your preferred Wrath of Choice is in the deck. I could see Dust to Dawn, the Aftermath card, being pretty good. But whatever it is you want in that spot, I think the deck needs access to some sort of Wraths, because it's just trivially easy for our deck to recover from Wraths, whereas, against this Elves deck, it would basically win us the game. Certainly would have won us that last game, that's for sure. Can't believe I had a Brizella. That was so cool. Well, it's a nice draw from... Oh, this is actually pretty sick from our opponent here, actually. They're going to make 3 mana here on turn 2 and play a Lead the Same. Well, this is the actual best... pretty close to a nut draw here. Heritage Druid, Essence Warden, and Llanowar Elves in the hand. Fortunately for us, them going wide is the kind of thing we can deal with, thanks to this Oketra's Monument. Azuri's the card we can't beat, but Oketra's Monument plus Whitemane, Lion, and so on might be enough to actually handle the sort of board they had last game if they don't have Trample. Our opponent's going to gain a whole bunch of life, though. Whole bunch of life. Yep, that's this one is going to take a. If we win, it's going to take a while. We might just get run over, but if we're to win, it's going to take a while. And in fact, what my opponent just did here signifies to me that they have Court of Calling in hand. Because if they had Collected Company, they would have swung with the Whitewane's Elite. This means it's likely Cord. Although they could have swung with the Whitewane's Elite no matter what and still corded for. Okay, so maybe not. It's just I'm thinking about next turn. I'm trying to figure because we're just dead to Azuri for the most part. If they had Cord though, they could have still swung with a 2/2, got in the damage, and then been able to Cord for Azuri. So maybe it's not correct to play around it. Wow, that is sick here. Yep, that'll do it. So basically, I was thinking, the line in my head was, do I need to, in my main phase, cycle Scattered Groves and try to dig for Sorcerer's Spyglass so we don't just lose to the Azuri that I think maybe they're telegraphing? But since they could have just attacked anyways, that doesn't seem to be the case. Remember I said how Wrath of Gods would be good in the deck? Yeah, this isn't quite a Wrath of God, but it's pretty good. This makes any companies... I mean, our opponent can float mana and then play Company or Court or what have you. But it's not ideal for them. We're certainly going to get a lot of value out of this card. Yeah, Cataclysmic Gearhulk is this deck's version of the Wrath or whatever. But, alright, so here comes the Cord. The problem with our opponent here, or... I'm not sure what they get here, I guess. They're going to draw... Okay, they're going to draw with Canopy, and then they have Company lined up, not Cord. Azuri can't regenerate through a Cataclysmic Gearhulk. Unfortunately for our opponent. Okay, so I will choose the Cataclysmic Gearhulk and the Oketra's Monument. And our opponent will lose most of their creatures. Now they get a Company back into some others, but this is basically the only shot we had to win the game, I think. Because if they were popping off as the cool kids say these days, fairly unimpeded there. This at least slows things down. I mean, they get a Company here, and they still have 1 million cards in hand. So this is certainly good for them. And in fact, hitting 2 Elvish Archers is pretty sick. But I think we still got a shot. We have more of a shot than we had a minute ago anyways. These Archers are pretty silly. No Clan Callers, though. That's good. Kind of want to just... well, I didn't want to play Thalia's Lancers. I don't actually know what I go get, though. I kind of like holding it till we get 1/2 of the Brizella combo so I can go fetch up the other. Which means I probably just play... I think I play the Scattered Groves. Because I think just having access to as much mana as possible is going to be important here. Hey, this thing has Vigilance. I think I'm happy to attack with it. My opponent could... who knows? Maybe they're going to triple Company and block with a 5/5, but... yeah, this way they're actually going to trade with one of their creatures. And against a... yeah, I'm down for this, if we get this opportunity here. Okay. Got a Heritage Druid out of here. Well, I guess I'll play 1 Squad Hawk. We have the Whitemane line. I guess maybe I don't even need to show them the Whitemane line. I can just play the Squadron Hawks out. Alright, so we're going to... and my opponent's going to respond with a Company, sure. No Azuris. Fingers crossed for no Azuris. That's what matters here. Clearly they hit Azuri. I think that kills us. These Arch-Druids make so much mana, I think we've died. Oops. Well, that's pretty unlucky. Well, maybe it's not unlucky. I mean, our opponent had all these Companies. It's completely reasonable for them to have found an Azuri at this point. It's unfortunate that they found it after we found our Cataclysmic Gearhulk. They had a great hand. It's too bad. We've assembled what we want. We have Whitemane Lion. We have a bunch of white mana sources. We even have the Emeria to get back to Cataclysmic Gearhulk later. But what we don't have is any way to beat this thing tapping for 6 mana and this thing tapping for 6 mana and our opponent giving all their creatures +6/+6 and trample. Which is really too bad. I guess we have the other Cataclysmic Gearhulk we can draw. Yeah, our opponent just had an extremely good hand here. They had a great start. Lead the Stampede's very good in Elves. They were able to refill. Then they were able to have double company finding the Zuri at the right moment too. So pretty good stuff out of them. I don't think we have enough toughness here to stop the overrun. We can beat attacker. We can beat attacking with giant elves all day long. We cannot beat attacking with trampling elves at all. So, all right, good games. Good games, everybody. That was fun. We were very close in that one, I would say, but we didn't quite get there. Either way, everybody, that was good. Thank you for watching.